Hello, my name is Vicky, and I'll be presenting the cover letter writing workshop with you today. We're going to be covering a few things here. You can see the agenda. We're going to talk about what a cover letter is, why it's necessary to send a cover letter, how you address formatting. We'll have a couple of sample cover letters for your review, and how to share. It looks like a lot, but it really is not as daunting as people think it may be. You may be unsure of what a cover letter is used for, but I'm going to help you feel confident today in presenting a cover letter to an employer. So a cover letter really is necessary in today's job market. Our goal for you is to stand out amongst other applicants to make sure that an employer will take a good look at your qualifications, and a cover letter accompanies a resume to help you to do so. So a general definition of a cover letter is to explain the reason for your application and a little bit about yourself. It does complement the resume, and it does explain why you would be an ideal candidate for the position. Why include a cover letter? Many of our participants ask. Sometimes you'll be asked to submit a cover letter. Other times it won't even come up, and it may be unlikely that any of you have been asked to submit a cover letter, but I do want to stress at this time that if you are asked to submit a cover letter, please do so. That is something that definitely could be a deal breaker with an employer. So again, we want you to be a standout amongst your competition for your dream job. So taking the time to produce and create a good cover letter is important for you to stand out in that way with employers. So the advantages, to name a few, are that a good cover letter can help you get an in-person interview. Your resume will list your technical skills, but the cover letter really drills down on how your skills are relevant to the job that the employer is looking to fill. So you can see at the very last bullet point under advantages that 71% of employers do prefer a cover letter even when it's optional. And it allows them to know a little bit about you, a little bit more about the skills that you have to offer for the position. So it really is something that employers expect in this competitive work environment today. Some of the disadvantages with a cover letter could be not preparing properly. So a poorly written cover letter with the wrong tone can really give a negative impression and could remove you from the candidate pool. So you want to make sure that you, for the second bullet point, are specifying your qualifications for the job that is being presented, that your qualifications fit for what the employer needs. So the cover letter is the place where you'll be able to do that. And then finally, make sure you proofread. If there are spelling or grammatical errors, that could close the door with the employer before they even have a chance to get to know you. So proofread, don't count on spell check. Have another set of eyes take a look at your cover letter too, to make sure that there are no spelling or grammatical errors. So an important thing in submitting the cover letter is the format. This is an excellent resource for you, and I do really urge you to keep this because it spells out exactly how to format your letter. This can be the most daunting for people before they send a cover letter and they're drafting it. But this is a simple format that if you follow it, you'll feel confident in presenting it to a known recipient. So what we mean by known recipient, you know who you are sending, and the title and the name of the person who will be receiving the cover letter. The black format is the most acceptable. You can see here that, you're going to include your name, address, city and state and zip, double space, date, double space again, and then you can see the format on how you would plug in the information for the recipient. Double space again, your salutation, which is your greeting, and then you would say, "Dear Mr. and Mrs., last name," and only if you're sure. If you're not, then you will refer to this second part when we are addressing a cover letter to an unknown recipient. The format is the same, you can see. The black format again, where you include your name, etc. You'll double space, put the date, the company's name, but the salutation would be something along the lines of "Dear hiring manager," "Dear human resource professional," "Dear recruiter," and we do urge you not to use "To whom it may concern." We see and we've had feedback that employers do prefer to have a salutation that is somewhat directed to the recipient. So while you may feel intimidated about formatting your cover letter, this resource will be an excellent referral for you as you are developing your cover letter to send out. Again, we're going to drill down a little bit more on the formatting of the cover letter. It really is as simple as 1, 2, 3. The first paragraph is a little bit of an inviting or opening statement. You're going to talk a little bit about yourself and the title of the position that you're applying for, where you found the job posting or the referral, and then a summary sentence of why you qualify. So that's just a few lines for that first paragraph. The second paragraph as well will just be a couple of lines, but this is the part where you're going to personalize your qualifications or make them relevant to the job description that you are applying for. So this is why it's important for you to pay attention to each and every cover letter that you send out, that it is relevant to the job that you are applying for, and this is what paragraph 2 refers to. And then finally, the third paragraph is just how to contact you, how you want to kind of transition into ending the cover letter. You might say something like, "Thank you for your consideration. I look forward to hearing back from you." But we're going to review that now after we talk about these action verbs. So back to paragraph 2, where we were talking about the relevancy of your skills to the job description. What employers want to know is what you know and how you use that knowledge. And these action verbs will help them see how you were proficient in utilizing the technical skills that you have that will fit for the requirements of the job that they're looking for. So let's say, for example, you are a truck driver and you just received your CDL license. It would be very much of interest to an employer that you would say in that second paragraph that you are proficient in maintaining vehicle safety. So that is a good example, and it shows what you did with the knowledge that you have. For example, if someone is a nursing assistant, you would say that you have completed your training and that you are able to identify through record keeping proficient organization. So you want to make sure that when you are describing the things that you do, that you concentrate on using some of these action verbs. So finally, here's a sample of the cover letter. Again, you're using the block format. That very first section is your name and contact information, the date again, the hiring representative's name, if it's a known recipient. If not, it would just be for the company. The title, the address, the salutation would be, as you can see, dear Mr. or Ms., dear hiring manager, and so forth. That first paragraph introduces you to the company and the relevancy of your experience to that position. The second paragraph drills down on how your experience is relevant to the job description and the need of the employer. And then the third paragraph is just kind of a transition to your sign-off that you are appreciative of their consideration and you look forward to hearing back from them. So please use this resource in formatting your cover letter. Another sample, and this is specific to a known representative, and you can see here that it is to Dear Mr. Professional. This is an excellent format. It's not daunting. Once you get that format down, you can just plug in all the information that you need to, give a little bit of information in that first paragraph about the job you're applying for. Again, the second paragraph will highlight your qualifications to the technical knowledge that they're looking for and how do you utilize that knowledge. And then the third paragraph, again, just is a transition to how they can contact you and your appreciation for their consideration. And then finally, your closing salutation with your name and a little bit more about you. For the unknown representative, same format, but you can see the salutation is to Dear Human Resources Professional. Likewise, for all the paragraphs, the first one is an introduction on how you found the job, how you are qualified for it. The second paragraph highlights your qualifications as they're relevant to the job description. The third paragraph, again, is a transition to your closing and gives contact information. So I hope that these samples here will help you feel confident in sending that cover letter. So how to share your cover letter. The first thing, again, is to make sure that you're not overlooking if during an application that if you're asked to submit a cover letter, not to overlook it. That could immediately disqualify you from the candidate pool. So, you may have different formats and technology on how you save your documents. We do, encourage you to save all your documents, maybe even create folders, a cover letter folder, as well as a resume folder, and so on. Save it both in Word and PDF format. Some employers will ask that you specifically submit one or the other, and please don't overlook that directive. If they ask for PDF, send it in PDF. If you are applying online, there will be a place for you to upload the documents. Sometimes, probably, most of the time, there are areas for you to upload both your resume and cover letter. Other times I've seen that there's a place for an upload for a resume, but you have to cut and paste your cover letter in. So practicing those things ahead of time so you feel confident in doing so would be to your advantage. And if you're sending as an email, make sure that you are properly formatting. And if you are using a large file, make sure that you are skilled on how to present large files to and submit. So this is kind of a review of everything we've talked about, and a couple of more hints. The cover letter top 10. Use a modern, simple font that matches your resume. So, we want you to make sure that your branding is consistent when you submit all of your documents. Make sure that you don't use any elaborate or scrimped fonts. Ensure that the contact information for the company is correct. Don't include confidential information such as your social security number or your birth date. We want to make sure that you feel confident and safe when you're submitting personal information. Use an updated salutation, again, not to whom it may concern, but personalize it to either, if it is a known recipient, to their name, or if it's an unknown recipient, to the title of the person who may be receiving it. Don't use any abbreviations. Make sure that you are clear and consistent throughout the cover letter, so it's easy for the reader to read everything. And then don't expand on your resume. Expand on your resume, don't repeat it. So again, the key thing here with the cover letter is it complements the resume. It expands on your skill set relevant to the job that you're applying for. And don't interview during your cover letter. Don't give them every piece of information. Give them enough relevant information and important information that they want to meet you in person and invite you to an interview. To review too about the second paragraph, make sure the content is answering the requirements of the job posting, and then again, proofread. You want to make sure that it is a perfect document and it really highlights the best of you. So again, don't use any weak language. You want to make sure that you're referring to the action verbs slide that we've shared with you. Again, employers want to know what your technical knowledge is and how you utilize that knowledge. They want to show your proficiency for the fit that they are looking for. We'll reiterate again here that you have a professional email address and avoid anything that could give an employer a preconceived idea about you, as suggested here. And avoid any cover letter cliches. As you can see, like I'm a perfect fit or this would be a dream job. You want to maintain professionalism. Don't forget to include your area code with your phone number. And don't add a 1 before your phone number in your contact information. Don't list every skill that you possess. You want to make your letter relevant to the job you're applying for. And don't just assume that nobody's going to read it. They are going to read it. Sometimes an employer will review a cover letter more closely than a resume because that allows them to get to know you a little bit more. And don't embellish your experience. Just be honest. You want to be able to, during an interview, and this is the goal for a good resume and cover letter submission, is that you're going to be invited to an interview and feel confident about all of your experiences. Just a reminder too, don't make any negative comments about any past employers, and everything that's included in both the resume and the cover letter, again, should be related to the job that you're applying for. So that's it for me today. I hope that you'll feel a little more confident about submitting a cover letter. It really is, we've given you the resources to format your cover letter, and it really is as simple as 1, 2, 3. Just remember those 3 paragraphs. It's an introduction to you. It is how your skill sets are relevant to the job you're applying for, and you're going to, through this excellent resume and cover letter, submission, you're going to pique an employer's attention, so you'll be able to really sell yourself during an interview, and that's what we want for you. If you have any questions about a cover letter, and if we can help you in any way to feel confident, please call one of your CDFs at your local office, and we would be more than happy to help you with that. So thank you.